about. That we don't need to jot anything down. So give me an update. How you been doing so far on the content side of things?
I mean, yeah, I do have some updates actually. Lachin, is it Lachin? So I'm probably gonna work with him to help out with the content strategy for my LinkedIn and Twitter. But he needs me to like put together some case studies first.
Got it.
So he'll then use that case studies to kind of inspire what he's gonna do for me on my show. Yeah. So I'm trying to get those case studies done this week, and then I think I've got a call with him on Friday to kind of talk more about that.
Okay.
And then in terms of LinkedIn, yeah, I'm still sort of just planning the best strategy to use it. And when I say strategy, I mean that time-wise as well. So like, what times of the week can I sort of set aside to like work on my content? So I think if I can maybe spend like an hour or two each week, maybe to draft the whole week's worth of content out and then schedule it accordingly, I think that would be good. But my weekends are usually quite hectic, and then during the week I'm usually quite busy as well with client work. So I'm just trying to figure out how I can end that work. But yeah, but I'm sure I'll work it out. So.
Yeah, no, for sure. My first piece of advice is not to overthink it, right? Like
Okay.
I'm just looking on. I'm just looking at what I observed. Like between Twitter and LinkedIn, I don't think you've posted anything yet, right?
On Twitter, yeah, correct, yeah.
Yeah, so Twitter you're leaving to Lachlan, and then on LinkedIn, I think you're just waiting until you can figure out the plan on how to post, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
what I would do is, you're already busy, just leverage. So is Lachlan gonna kind of ghostwrite for you? Is he gonna give you ideas? Like, how's it gonna work? Just so I know.
So I think for Twitter, he's going to maybe do a little bit of ghostwriting, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's most likely going to be handling the engagement side of things. So doing retweets, comments, replying to people. You also mentioned something about giveaways and stuff, but I need to ask him more about that. But my kind of service isn't really suitable for giveaways, if you know what I mean. So I need to ask him about that. But I think that the first step really is to get those case studies. Because I think once I have those case studies built, it will help him understand my business a bit more.
Yeah.
And the kind of audience I want to target and how my service would benefit them.
Yeah.
So that would help him frame his strategy and kind of how he wants to work with me. So
absolutely. So the case studies, are they written yet, or I guess you need to first write the case studies?
Yeah, I need to write them. I'm going to try and do them this week, probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
I've got a call with Lachin on Friday, so if I can get them done before then, that would be good.
Yeah, and I would try to do one case study and see how Lachlan can help you iterate that into content versus like I'm trying to make the bottleneck as small as possible here for you, right? Until you actually start posting. This is not the case study isn't the unlock for this. The unlock is to actually start posting something, right? Like put one thing out there, like one piece, see how it resonates, and then go from there. Because you actually aren't really gonna know exactly how to optimize the content until you have some content out there. Flywheel, right?
Yeah.
That initial block and put something out there, right? Like even on your Twitter, just put a welcome post out there, right? Like I don't want you to think about when can I dedicate 3 hours to content if you haven't even put one post out, right? Like it's kind of like batching content comes after you at least have a little bit of a muscle on like, hey, I'm not nervous anymore. I'm not like second guessing myself, and I can actually just post something first, right?
Yeah. I'm definitely at that second guessing stage for sure. It's like I kind of have this, I won't say fear, but this, I don't know, insecurity of like people calling me out or not caring what I have to say. This kind of annoying thoughts in your head.
One thing I'll tell you, like doing a case study first, working with Lachlan first, your first post, there's no way it's not going to be corny. There's no way it's not going to like open you up to somebody saying something. And let me say something here, right? Like initially, you're good, like your content is gonna be corny because you haven't found a fit yet. Like you're entering, like the analogy is you're kind of entering a crowded room and you're like shouting, right? Now, if you are like I don't know, an entertainer, and you've entered a crowded room, you've gotten on a stage like a million times, you know how to spark a crowd. So you have no risk of being corny because you've done it before. You haven't done it before. So the first time you get on stage with no singing,
Yeah, it's gonna be awkward. Yeah.
That's it. But like that's how everybody in that domain, anybody in any domain starts, right?
How it starts, right? Yeah.
And the other thing you need to think about here is you have, especially on Twitter, you have 5 followers. No one's even looking at you, man. Like your first post, no one's even gonna see it. Like when people follow you afterwards, no one's gonna scroll down through the history of your post to like hyper examine your first couple of posts. Like it doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Honestly, you're not gonna get haters until you hit like 10,000 followers. That's just how it works, right? Like at this stage, no one's got a reason to hate on you on this platform, right? And once you get to 10,000, you're confident enough in what you're putting out, and you feel, and once you hit 10,000, you've found your target audience. You don't care anymore about that stuff, right? Like I can't outright guarantee no one's gonna like criticize you, but I can almost do it because no one is paying attention right now when your account is at starting at 0, right? So don't worry about that. I think the biggest thing is to kind of tame your inner critic. I mean, let's talk like this, right? Like, do you think you have a good service to offer the ideal person?
I do. I
Yeah.
feel like I've got a lot of experience. Like I know what I'm doing. You know, technical wise, like I have a good business acumen. I'm confident in me being able to deliver the service. It's just kind of getting myself out there. You know, the public awareness. Even though I want it, a part of me is afraid of it. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And listen, if it comes down to it, one thing you could do is make a pseudonym account, right? Like a lot of guys, somebody you can look at for an example of that is somebody called the car dealership guy on Twitter. So he's like a car dealer. I don't. You're nodding. Maybe you've heard of him, but like he just puts out a bunch of content to tell you dirty secrets behind car dealerships, and then he monetizes the account. But he doesn't tell people who he is. He's just the car dealership.
Ah, that's pretty cool. Okay.
So that's just one example. You could do that. Like there's the benefit there is you can also you don't need to worry about people linking it to you until they hop on a call with you and you're cold selling them. At that point, like you got to tell people, right? But the downside of that is like you build that trust slower, right? This is the thing. If you're putting yourself out there, if you're putting your name, your face behind content, you're taking a reputational risk, right? And that higher reputational risk comes with proportionally higher reward once you find your fans, right? And you find you find your customers. So think about that. But I'd rather you be a pseudonym and post than be yourself and not post a single thing, right?
Yeah. I get that. Yeah.
And then I'm just really trying to hone in on this bottleneck here, right? Because it's like your case study, like let's say case study number 1 for Lachlan. Don't worry about writing 4, 5, 8, 2. Your first case study, do you know which what it's going to be about? Do you know the topic?
Yeah, I've got some ideas in mind. So I was going to write about maybe some key projects that I've worked on in the past for clients. So I was going to use the STAR technique, I think it's called. So the situation, task, action, results, basically. So there was a client I worked on. Actually, there was a project I worked on when I was at Vodafone, where I basically helped them improve their implementation. That was tracking data from their app, and as a result, they were able to get better insights, which led to better optimization in terms of like customer experience on the app later down the line. which translated into a few millions of extra revenue, right? So I was going to write about that, and then I was going to write about a couple of other projects that are vaguely similar, but probably for different companies and stuff. So, but yeah, that's what I've got in mind. Yeah.
So look, forget about the other stuff for now. This Vodafone example, like, right on it. The amount of time you took to explain that to me, you've already written out the introduction to this case study, right? You literally just told me it, right? Like all you need to do is put this in otter.ai and it's written that for you, right? Don't let this slow you down, right? Yeah, like let's bang out a couple of notes about it right now, brother. Give me a second. Here, let me just project this. You know what you're looking at. All right, man. Let's go. Want you to get as much value on this call as you can, right? So let's try this. Antoine's case study. As soon as I figure out how to type. So this is the client here was Vodafone, right? And then so you wanted to basically use this star technique in terms of like how you format the case study.
Yeah, basically.
So situation, right? So this is kind of like what is their problem? Like what is their business? What is their problem, right? And I guess that's what it is. Oh, actually, the problem is probably in the task part, right? Forgive me, I'm coming new to this. And then action. Is this action? Yeah, action. And then result. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, the only thing that's not clear to me is what is the difference between the situation and the task in this model.
I guess the situation will probably outline like a high level problem, and then the task is maybe a bit more detailed problem.
Yeah.
Or the proposed solution. Yeah. Okay, so basically, what the situation was is they have an app. So Vodafone is a telecom company similar to maybe AT&T in America.
Yeah.
And they had a mobile app. Okay. Here's another thing I'm not sure about. I'm not sure how technical I need to go with these case studies, right?
First,
I feel like
just write the truth. Like, let's just start with that, right? Just tell me, like, don't worry about technical and non-technical right now. First, like, before you do anything, you just need to get it all onto a piece of paper, onto a digital piece of paper. When it's technical, jumbled, complicated, just get something down, and then you can slice and dice that, because at least you have something there, right? So let's like just talk to me, like, just explain to me how you want to explain to me, so that I would understand.
Okay, right? Cool. Okay, so it had a mobile app, which was basically built in two components. The first component was like the native app part, which is the SDK or the program that you download from the store and sits on your phone. Then there's another part of the app which is called a web view, which is basically the mobile browser that's being embedded out of the app. Now, those two components were capturing data in two separate places. And as a result of that, they weren't able to analyze the full customer journey of the app because the data was segmented, basically. I think that's probably the simplest way I can explain it.
That's amazing. I understand what you're talking about.
Okay. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. So the task was to combine the data sources so that they can analyze the whole customer journey in one place. Yeah.
The action?
So the action was okay. This is where I need to kind of think about how technical to go, but basically I had to take out the old. Wait, hold on. Let me think about this. Okay, so basically the website and the app had two different data layers because they were using two different tag management tools.
Yep.
So on the native app side, I took out the old data layer, which was I think Adobe powered, and I put in a Tedium data layer, which matched the same data layer setup that the website had. And sort of off the back of that, I had to make sure the mappings between the website, so the Vodafone website and the Vodafone native app were the same. And then I also had to make sure there was a solution that was passing the user ID from the native app into the website. From a analytics tracking perspective, so that the analytics tool knew that it was the same person that was navigating from the native app to the web view part of the app, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, if this is a
okay. I'm going to follow along there. I'm not getting all of it, but I just want to get down what I gather. So after the user IDs piece, what was the last thing you said?
I also needed the user. Okay, yeah. So I needed to make sure that the user IDs were being passed through from the native app into the website's sort of tracking, so that the analytics tool knew that it was the same user navigating between the two parts of the app, if that makes sense.
So the analytics tool, and so you were just garbled there for that last sentence. What did it need to do? The analytics tool?
So that, okay, let me read what you said. Also, I needed to make sure that the user IDs were being passed from the native app to the website.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say from the native app tracking to the website tracking. I mean, to be fair, I can reword this.
No, let's do it now,
Yeah,
man. Okay. It's just me and you on this call, right? Let's try to get it as good as possible right now. You're not going to publish this, but we got time.
okay, sure.
What's about the analytics tool?
Also, I needed to make sure the user IDs are being passed from the native app tracking to the website tracking, so that the analytics tool could identify the same user navigating between those two parts of between those two components of the app, basically.
Perfect. Listen, after you explain it to me, I get it. I really do. And a question I have for you is is your customer going to know all of this? Do they know they have a problem? Or do they not know they have a problem?
They would if they are tech savvy enough, which they should be, otherwise they wouldn't really understand what analytics is and how it could benefit them.
So before
they would know. Yeah.
Before we get into the results, like as you're targeting your customers, you may be targeting decision makers in a business who are tech savvy, or you may be targeting, I don't know, the chief technical guy who is tech savvy. So you just understand that the same case study, you can word it to be more technical or more general and post both. Like it's not about posting one or the other, right? It's just a matter of if you post it more general, you're just targeting a different segment of your market, right? So not that, and now I'm coming back to your question. It's not that there's one good or bad way to do that. As long as you're targeting somebody who will buy from you, you're just segmenting your content, right? And that comes from A/B testing. Talk about this in a super technical way, talk about this in a super general way, and see which one resonates more. That's really it. So then the results, before we forget, let's talk about that.
So the results. So even though in the long run there was some like financial gain from this sort of solution, it wasn't directly linked. So it wasn't like this action directly generated that revenue impact, right? But it kind of played a part. So what I mean is, so now that this data, this customer data was in one place, or this app data was in one place, it was easier for the analyst team to analyze the journey and pinpoint like places that could be improved. And off the back of those insights, they were able to improve the app journeys, which led to more conversions, more commercial value, basically.
What do you need to say?
So.
Go. So something you were gonna find time for later, we just got it done right now, right? Like you can polish this up a little bit and send it over to Lachlan and get them working, right? Instead of waiting. Did I put this right? Data lake?
Data layer.
Oh, so layer.
Add an ER after the correct.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna stop sharing quickly. I should actually have not have shared that and had you speak to it, and maybe it would have tripped you up a little less. But I just want to show you how I was transcribing, so you know what's going on. Take this just before I forget. I'm just gonna paste it into the grab it from there.
In terms of me publishing this, like obviously I have the written text, but maybe this is just me overthinking. But I now think about, how am I going to make it look visually appealing? Do I have to put any graphics in there? Like, how am I going to format it? Like, am I just overthinking this stuff, or is this thing like thinking about?
Let me show you. So give me a second. So here we go. So let's get into this. Let me just share. I would do it in the Twitter native app, but I don't want to accidentally post it. So let me just do it in Obsidian here. So here, in terms of content, so let's take this, and let's also just take the content mirror that I use. So, boom. Okay. So the different types of contents. Here we go. I checked this off last time. And we're going to use your case studies here, right? So I just use this to jog my memory on what kind of content works, right? So long form, lots of info, easy to consume, centered on your experience. So here, first, biggest thing. So in terms of like now. Okay, so step one, you need the hook, right? So, and 2 is steps, and 3 is the call. Really, just think about this as like a simple formula you can use. So for post 1, so think about here, look, what I kind of step back and I try to get a picture of the story here. So what I see in my mind is it could literally be kind of like, you're pouring water into 2 glasses, and then the glasses don't link, and then at the end you kind of just at the bottom you add like a piece of plumbing, you mix it all linked together. Or like if you're talking about the customer's journey, like another picture that pops into mind is like a bridge, right? And you have like like a bridge, and like a bit that's like broken, like crumbled, and then you have the other end of the bridge that's intact, right? and in the middle you got to find a way to fix that. Right? So like visuals really help with this stuff, right? So I would use Mid Journey, but we don't have a lot of time, so I'm just going to. What's happening here? Okay, I'm going to Dublin. That's why that's popping up. So,
oh, nice.
Yeah.
Going to Ireland.
Yeah, first time. I'll be there on my honeymoon in mid-July.
Oh, nice.
So okay, so let's do cartoon broken bridge, because getting a visual really helps with this stuff. So,
yeah, I agree.
Look at this. Like listen, just out of sheer laziness, could use it. Oh, here we go. Look at this. Boom. Like that. Right. So this is really what you're trying to say in an image, right? Like this is kind of the customer, right? This is their journey. They're tracking it in one part here, and then you're trying to bridge a gap. In terms of hooks, so things that work, right? So hooks, pain point. Let me think. Business problem, limiting belief. You know, like you're trying to twist a little knife here, right? So it's kind of like one example. You supplies businesses. Businesses have all the data they need to track their customer journey. So cool, but they have and so the big problem, would you call it data segmentation? I don't know.
Yeah. I think the data segmentation is a good term for it.
Yeah,
because it's in two separate places. So yeah. I mean, I may change the word distances and put maybe many mobile app companies or mobile app teams or whatever, something like that. But yeah, but the gist of it is correct.
Major company, neighbor, like however you want to put, like change this to the term that makes sense, right? Here's a bridge company and you would call this like 3 easy steps or something. So up here, like, and what this is speaking to, like the easy steps, and you in 3 steps is
3 steps. I won't say easy, but yeah.
Situation, task. So the action. So think about like this action here. Like what kind of steps would you put in here, right? So
okay, so the steps kind of have to be generic to a degree, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. Well, you could also just use this. Your steps are assess situation, determine the task, took the action, and then track the results. That could literally be it, right?
Yeah.
Or here's our bridge the data gap for a major company in 4 steps. Boom, boom, boom. Like for example, just try this, man. Just try this out. Don't even worry about should I write in 4 steps and 3 steps and 8 steps. Just call it 4 steps and shoehorn your case study into 4 steps. Don't worry about it. So this is your hook. Okay. So here you go. So that's your hook. And then here, you post the image. So let me just grab this and put it down there. This is your tweet. This is your LinkedIn post, whatever you want to call it, right? And on LinkedIn, this is kind of like what you put above the fold, right? And then you go below there. And then here, you literally just take this and you just pretty it up a little bit. So on Twitter, so let me see, is this 280 characters? Let me see here. This is 199, so perfect. So you even have a little bit of room to expand this a little bit. That's 199, and then your tweet 2 is
Oh, okay.
That's it. And then 1 is assess the. There you go. That's your step 1. And then Vodafone, the results. So how many? This is 307. So this is like, you just need to do a little bit of editing here. Take some periods out, and this could become 280. Vodafone, Vodafone is, yeah, that's perfect. They had a mobile app built into, and then just changes to parts.
Yeah. Part 1, part 2.
You can even take it out. Does that even matter?
Yeah.
280, you're done, right? And then task 2, so this is 2. So assess the situation I put, and this would be plan the task, I guess. I had to find the data sources of both apps so they can analyze the entire customer. Boom. And then add some more tweets there. And then number 3 is took action.
Cool.
That's it. And then and then here is tweet 4, and then track the result. And there you go. So there, and then then here, that's all your steps. And now you want your call to action, right? So you just honestly, just if you enjoyed reading this, follow me for more content.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant. Yeah.
Or mobile, whatever, mobile company. I don't know. You has a similar problem.
Yeah. Feel free to reach out.
Yeah, exactly. Done. That's it. There you go. There's your first.
Yeah. This is gold. And I can easily repurpose this for LinkedIn as well, right? I mean,
exactly. Write it once, post it twice. Really, the only difference between this and LinkedIn is you're not going to have these. It's not going to be in 4 tweets. It's going to be in like one big post.
Yeah.
This is how it's going to be on LinkedIn. It's just going to be that.
Yeah.
There you go. I would say your goal today in the next 24 hours, take this, minor edits, like literally just change any words you don't like and just post this thing and then go from there. And then just the sooner you post this and you get over that, you're going to post this, no one's going to see it, and you're going to realize it's not that bad, and you're going to move on to the next one. And now that you have this case study, so also send this over, first, I would encourage you first to post this so you don't end up with something else clouding your judgment. Post this and then send it over to Lachlan. Be like, hey, brother, I just posted this, but here you go. Please take this and rework it so we can post the same thing again next week. That's it.
Yeah.
So you get the same case study over time. Like you're gonna post it once right now. Where are you? I lost your face. What's that? You're gonna over time. It's not like, hey, I've done this Vodafone case study. Now I need 17 other case studies. Over time, what you're going to do is take the same case study, expand it out a little bit. As you think about it again and again, oh, yeah, there's this one other unlock that I forgot about. Oh, there's actually a better way I can explain step 3. And you're going to rewrite it over and over again, iteratively, until it works better. Two, you're also gonna use that same case study and just speak to a different audience with it. Speak to a newbie audience, speak to an expert audience, like change it that way. And three, in terms of giveaways, what Lachlan meant there, or like how I would see giveaways working for you, is this case study. As you expand it out, you'd be surprised how packaging makes a difference with a person. If you say, hey, here's a 4,000-word LinkedIn post case study, and if you say, hey, I can send you over a PDF case study, just for example. That doesn't work with everybody, but for a lot of people, even if it's the same information, you give them it packaged in a PDF with a nice graphic in the front, it changes the value of what they're getting. Very interesting, right? But like, right now, this is great for a Twitter thread. If you're going to make this into like, let's say a 1,000-word case study or a 750-word case study, you'd probably add in a bit more background on who Vodafone is, a bit more background on what the problem was, go into more details on the steps you took, go into a little bit more details on how would most companies track the results of something like this. So that's how you would turn this into kind of a giveaway. And then you would put a post on Twitter like, hey, I put together an expert case study on a major company's problem with data segmentation. If you want to, just type this message and I'll send it over. That kind of a case study and that kind of a giveaway is not going to go viral because it targets a very niche audience, not for everybody, but it's another way to just repurpose the same thing. And then also in the long run, if you want to reach people via email, you would turn this into an email lead magnet. You would set up a small ConvertKit. Say, in order to get the data segmentation case study, enter your email here. And then they enter the email and you send them over the PDF, right? That's how you take this, this half an hour work meeting you did, and you keep using it over and over again. You turn it into a content asset for yourself.
Yeah.
Makes sense?
Makes sense. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to keep shouting words at you and confusing the point, right? I think you know that the next action items you need to take, right?
Yeah. This has been really, really helpful. You've made me realize it's not as hard as I think it is, and I have just been kind of overthinking and sort of paralyzing myself for no reason, kind of thing. So just write some notes down, put it out there, and then as you said, I can repurpose that same content, I don't know, piece in different formats, PDF, LinkedIn, lead magnet, that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been really useful. Thank you. Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, and we'll be in touch. So just so you know, you're on the call. So the next 2 weeks, Bernardo's going to be taking these calls instead of me.
Okay.
He's got like 6,000 Twitter followers, so you're going to be just fine with him. I told you, like, I'm getting married and I got my honeymoon, so I'm off for 2 weeks, but I'll see you.
Congrats, man.
Thanks, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.
You're going to kill it this week, man. I look forward to
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, have a good one.
Yes.
Cheers. All right.